Hey, good night. Good night, Roscoe. I am back. Please refresh if you do not see me. Okay, now what am I going to do? I'll fix the build. I fixed the build server. I'm going to work on this thing a little bit. Let's see on here. Oh. Right down. Okay, that's... Yeah, I need to work on that a bit. That did not work. You know, I try to do these in my head and then they don't work. I'm trying to do an expression to map from one set of numbers to another set of numbers. And I sit there and I do them and I think, oh, that's going to work. And then they don't. And then I give up doing them in my head and then do a decimal sheet. So I'm doing a decimal sheet. The range, input range I have for the thing called T equals 0. Ah, that's the other thing, is the goal of the night. I need to have a jingle for that. Goal of the night. You know what I could do? I could do Howl play KOR theme. Goal of the night. Courtesy of Raduga. In fact, it is Raduga's goal of the night. Howl, stop music. Okay, let's have a look at Raduga's goal of the night. The Lobuga. That looked nice. It looked like a Dunlop, but I don't think it was. Let's have a look. I confirm it is a genuine Lobuga. What he's done is he's done something that looks like a Dunlop, but using just the normal kick. That's impressive. Superb job. So if you don't know about the controls, a Dunlop is you have the stick centered and you tap and it just flicks it up, and then after it flicks it up, push the stick in the direction you want to go. And the quicker you push the stick in the direction you want to go, the further it goes. And so this gives you a very controlled little lob, and that's nice. But you can do the same thing just by using the mechanics of a normal kick, and that's what Raduga does here. And you can see it in the replay. You can see it here when he's got the ball. He turns around and now he's about 60% power. But before he actually gets to... Actually, can I go back one step? Oh, damn. You can see he's pushing it up, but even before it gets to full power, it starts coming back, and in fact he's kicked probably at around about half power. So he's pushed it out to about 60-70%. Then he let it come back. As it came back to about a halfway point, he's pressed, releasing it, yeah. And then once he's done that, then the stick is naturally going to continue coming back, and this is going to lift the ball. So what you've got is a gentle kick with a bit of lift on it, and it's just literally to do with the timing of the gesture. And when you think, oh, that's crazy, think about what they do with say in snooker. You're just tapping a ball with a stick and a point, and all those clever things that they can do with a ball by putting spin on it and swerve and all the rest of it. It's like that, it's that all to do with the touch and the, like playing a musical instrument, and the evidence that human beings are capable of this kind of refined action or movement or finesse, yes, good word for it. Just think about a musical instrument. Think about a violin player that is, one of the peak violin players. What they are doing is expressing the unexpressible through, in the end, finesse. And we are capable of such incredible precision with our fingers. It's scary. They are so precise, as evidenced by the fact that people can train to be violin players, and playing the high notes on a violin, the precision you need to have for where you place your fingers in order to have the note in tune, with very, very precise positioning. Just being off a fraction of a millimeter is too much error for that situation. It's incredible how precise our fingers are. So it comes with practice. So now, Raduga is developing this technique, and he's actually used it in a match. And I only dreamed that would happen. I designed the game so it would be theoretically possible. But that's the thing, I've never done it myself. I need to do a lot of practice. So that's the trick with this kind of game development, is you're trying to make a game that will allow people to go even where you as the game designer will probably never get to. I probably will never. I don't know that I'll ever score. Maybe, who knows? Maybe after 5 years. Because I don't, a serious amount of training is required to be able to do that kind of play, that kind of finesse, Fortunately, you don't need to play with that kind of finesse in order to have fun with the game. So it's up to you how far you want to take it. Anyway, it's very, very nice. Well done, Raduga. I'm now going to say the stick input goes from 0 to 1. I'm going to hit play, and there we are. It's going up and down. Then I'll do T comma, capital T, please, capital T, comma 0. I can see that moving backwards and forwards like that. It should be to 1. Hey, Raduga, though, does it matter? You enjoy it? Does it make you feel good? I've put in a lot of hours. I've put in a lot of hours into playing the game too, but more into making the game. But I tell you that when I play the game, I feel good. It makes me feel good. My argument is that when something makes you feel good, it's good for you. you know, well, if it's an addiction of some substance, for example, that makes you, but that's not really making you feel good. That comes from a kind of, this is different because it's internal, isn't it? You feel good because, or I do anyway, I feel good because from something I've generated from within me. And I think that's great. And it improves my mood. Exactly. It's like pure, this is what games should do. This is what video games can do. You know, there's a video game I can highly recommend that I'm playing at the moment, which is quite rare, but there is a game I'm spending a bit of time playing. It's my method of relaxation right now is playing Bridge Crew, Star Trek Bridge Crew. Very, very interesting game. A very good game. I can highly recommend it. But I suppose the reason why is because it's actually, I'm finding it actually useful as a study in leadership. In fact, that game explores the subject of leadership by the fact that you work together, and teamwork, leadership and teamwork. And it feels good. I think one of the reasons it feels good to play it is because having actually worked, as many of us do, in environments where the team is dysfunctional, the team is broken. That's all you ever fracking know, is the broken, dysfunctional team. You play that game and you work in a small team, and for some reason the politics and the backstabbing and all of that, there's no room for it. So what you're just left with is process. And it's kind of the teamwork, getting back to basics. It feels pure, and that's really nice. I'm selling VR too. All right, you know, if that's a problem, I'm sorry, but I played a number of games on VR at this point, and you know, Rare's very good, and I didn't realise that I should keep playing. Then it gets tougher because it was a bit easy at first, but yeah, it's very good. Thumper, but Rare's it's good, but it's not something that will last a huge amount of time. I got Polybius. Polybius is excellent, and I think will last a long time. And it's a shooter, and there's nothing wrong with shooters, but that's as far as it goes. It's a shooter, isn't it? I'm not going to try and pretend to be something that it isn't. So I'm sure I am coming back to that game. But there's a different thing with Bridge Crew. It's one of those games that I think is destined to be a classic. In fact, when I started playing it, sorry, Iraduga, when I started playing it, you know, it's the first time I had that feeling for a long, long time, a feeling that I got when I played video games all those years ago on my BBC Micro and my Acorn Atom. There was an excitement all the way back then. And through the years, there's only been certain games that have really grabbed me in that way. Was Elite, of course, and then after Elite, which one? Magic Carpet. It was Doom, but for me, even Doom was not. I mean, I preferred Magic Carpet to Doom because Doom's gameplay is a little bit basic, but. And then there was Descent, which was a fantastic game, Descent 3 at the end of the 90s, which with all this technology in its engine that was just jaw-dropping, you know. And then there's this quite a long gap. I suppose there was Elite Dangerous, but it never quite achieved it. And then I played this one, and I was, oh wow, it was the first time that for a very long time that I played a game on the absolute cutting edge of technology in video games, but it had that freshness of when I first started playing games. But I don't want to oversell it. I can only just tell you how it felt. And the really weird thing is that the gameplay is actually very well made, but it's not. Maybe it's well made because it's reined in. It's simplified the gameplay is simplified in order to focus on what's important. It's like what normally happens when you see games made on the cutting edge of technology is that they're always trying to push the technology. I guess that's what I'm blathering on about. But in this case, the designers of that game they're using the technology, but their technology is not leading the game design. What's leading the game design is in fact game design and avoiding the trap of complexity. And it's awesome. I highly recommend it. It puts a smile on my face. Well, you're playing Wildlands with it. Why are you sorry? Yeah, Bridge Crew. It's Ubisoft. Well, they got it right in this case. It is actually very immersive, and I've said as much as I can usefully say about it. So, if you do get if any of you do get it does definitely get my approval, if that means anything. I have no idea how the reviews are of it. There are a lot of people playing as well, so you don't have any trouble getting a team together for a mission. Anyway, right, so where was I? Oh, just tell me, because I'm, reading reviews is like silver paper on fillings. So you're seeing great reviews by the players. Now, the question is, what do the gamer culture police say about it? And what are the reviewers saying then? Because I presume you're saying great reviews by the players. Yeah, the police. So, I don't know. Slightly lower review, but overall strong, yes. Because I found these days there's a fashion to review a game on the basis of how people who haven't a clue about design would prefer it to have been designed. Such people calling themselves reviewers. Well, I'm glad it's overall strong, because for me it's without a doubt overall the best VR game I've seen so far. Even if it does have this annoying character who just is always saying the stock lines that are a bit of a cliche, and as a captain I wish I could just get her to leave the bridge. That would be funny. Eight out of 10. That's bullshit. It's a 10 out of 10. And even don't even think twice about it. It's 10 out of 10. I can't fault it. Well, there is one thing I fault it on, which is that when you get damaged, there isn't sufficient noise, so you don't get the impact or the tension of the ship being damaged. That's a bit strange. That's one thing, but that's it. I mean, as a designer, I'm sitting there thinking, could I have designed this game better? Seriously, could I have designed this game better? No. First-person shooter games, yeah, but I'm too hardcore for Doom. Like first-person shooters, I've never really enjoyed those. For me, a first-person shooter has, let's go 3D for real and play Descent. Yes. I am too hardcore for Doom or Quake or any of the other myriad of Yawnsville FPSs that are out there. Sorry. For me, it doesn't do it, because it's all fast 2D gameplay in a small environment. But Descent is 3D. Descent. You see, Descent just kicks the ball out of the park. Once You Love was decent, yes, it was very good. Once you love Descent, it's difficult to go back to relatively boring, normal FPSs. And the design of most FPSs is actually not that sophisticated. In the sense that it's like how quickly you can move to point to get a headshot. You think about it. It's like, I played Halo 3, for example, online. Was it a great experience? I kept on looking for the tension, but it's all a bit, and Halo games are pretty good. Halo 1 was great, but what made Halo 1 great was the AI of the enemies. It's when you feel as if you're in a world that is out to get you. You create that tension and suspense. But in Descent, playing multiplayer Descent, that was beautiful. It works so well. And, yeah. Hey, Yvancaster, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. I had some criticisms of Halo, but overall it was okay. But it wasn't as good as Descent. So, Vancaster, what's the fee? The Steam Greenlight fee is going to be $100. What are my thoughts? My thoughts is it's pointless. It's not going to help. And my thoughts are that all this thing about curating and all the rest of it and trying to is just the only thing that Steam care about is, I believe, and this is how I feel, that their actual thing they only care about is making money from sales on the games. They do not care whether the people who make the games that they make their money from themselves ever make a profit or not. And it's my problem that I have with Portals, is that there is an ethics issue. Is it ethical to be running a business where you make money from the loss of the people who create the content? That is, the economics of publishing a game on Steam or anywhere else is simply one of you're very unlikely to make a profit. But people make lots of games and they try to make the profit. But Steam always win. It's like a casino. So when you know and understand that that is what the scenario is, you have to say, is the action taken by Steam going to help or hinder this? And what would it take to help it? What actually takes to help it, ironically, is that you raise the barrier just a little bit. You know, I would think that a fair amount would be 1,000. Part of the reasoning for this is that if you want to have an outlet for your game that has a low barrier for PC, it's not an issue. For a low barrier on PC, you can go to any number of other portals. You can also just release the game for yourself. You don't need to go to Steam. So the only reason to go to Steam would be because they have a huge community that can give you visibility, but that only works if you restrict the number of games which are released, and $100 isn't going to do it. So, you know, but I don't think they care. I'd love to be proven wrong, but if you set the amount to $100, it's not going to deter anybody. It's the cost of 2 AAA video game titles. So what are they there for? Is Steam there to cater for a myriad of people who are enthusiasts and want to release their games and so on, there's nothing wrong with it, but is that what they're there for? Or are they there for the people who want to get serious? By which I mean, you know, the ones who are the contenders, let's say. The ones who really have you have more or less talent, right? The problem that you had with the Steam Greenlight process was that it had nothing to do with the quality of the games. What it did do, though, is it did make it a little bit harder to get onto Steam. Now they're making it practically, you might as well not charge anything. Steam is going to be flooded. Yeah, it used to be a drop in the bucket. Yeah, I agree with you entirely. I think that it means that, and I'll be frank, in the long run, Steam are going to do themselves harm with this, I think. Because the point is every business needs to have a reason to exist. Every business needs to have a reason to exist. What is Steam's reason to exist? It's like Wikipedia. What's the point of Wikipedia? Exactly. Can someone tell me the point of Wikipedia? It serves no actual useful purpose. Why do I say that? Well, because if you want to find out something about a topic, you go to a search engine and you type in what you're looking for, and you get a whole heap of results about the subject that you're interested in. This is what the internet does. Right? So can you tell me what is the point of Wikipedia when it essentially duplicates that? Only it's worse because it's edited by people. So in fact it's less neutral. You know, it's like, I just don't understand it. So Wikipedia doesn't have a reason to exist, and so eventually it'll become irrelevant. The same thing with portals like Steam. What is its purpose? How does it help a game developer exactly? if you encourage a myriad of new game developers and everybody's going to make a loss. I don't even look at the Wikipedia article. I haven't looked at it since KOR was released, because I just know that in there will be this big thing about how, my Wikipedia article entirely focuses on negatives. For example, it mentions in there that I stood in the elections for the boards of the IGDA. It's kind of like, yes, that's really and didn't win. Yeah, it's a really critical thing to know about Dino Dini. You put that in there. Why? Well, because it's a negative. It really drives me nuts. Well, there is a solution to all of this, but you're not going to find it with Steam. It's like a Ponzi scheme. It's like multi-level marketing. It's... right? Yes, that's it. It's a weasel word. It's been there for years and years and years, the little weasel word in there. He stood unsuccessfully. Well, that's what you do, is you stand for election, and there are other people who stand for election, and, it's like, that's what you do. I was nominated by somebody, and I accepted it, and I went ahead and did that. And now, as a result of making an effort to make a contribution at the IGDA, I have a fracking weasel word term in my Wikipedia article, and there is your fracking proof. Those stupid Wikipedia insane people out there, I haven't edited it out. You notice that? Because they keep saying things like, Dino, knowing Dino, he edited it himself. And just go frack yourselves, honestly. Yes, it's like, whatever. Anyway, that's off topic. So you've got to have a reason to exist, right? To be a sustainable business. So I don't understand what Steam's reason to exist is. It provides, I suppose, some infrastructure for you, but visibility-wise. So what's the solution? The solution is that you set up a business model that actually feeds the creative ecosystem properly, instead of being a parasite upon it. And that's the problem with portals such as Steam. They tend to become parasites. Why? Well, because you get this idea, the only thing you can do with the game is you publish it on Steam. You have to publish the game on Steam. Everybody says that, you have to go on Steam. So it's not a choice anymore. And you go on Steam, and you're a drop in an ocean. And hey, it doesn't matter that most of the drops in the ocean are crying. The people who own the ocean make a huge amount of money. They make the money off the backs of people who make a loss. Unethical. Need to figure out how. Well, there is a way, and it's a bit socialist, you see. It's almost like the problem with capitalism versus socialism. What we need is a social solution. It needs to go something like this. Oh, you've made a game. By some measure that we have, because right now, how good you are as a game on Steam is measured only entirely on how many copies you sell. No, actually, we don't. Hey, stay a while. I don't quite agree that we need box products again, but I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, so it's like, if the measure is only the number of games that you sell, which is essentially the model that Steam has, your importance is only determined by how many games you sell. You can see the problem. This means that people will only make games to try and get their numbers up. It doesn't serve the creative side, if that's the only measure. So here's the why solution, and this is what Steam should do, but they won't do it ever, because I've seen it too many blooming times. Is you say, here's your game. Well, this game, it's got something special. It's not just a game that will make money. We see that it has also added to the creative ecosystem of video games. What does this mean? I tell you what it means. We share some of the profit with these games that add to the richness of the creative ecosystem of video games. We feed them. It's not just about how many copies they sell. Yes, we shall subsidize their creativity by skimming off some of the revenue from the big sellers that frankly don't need the money, and also because they've already got plenty, and also where experience has shown us that when you take creative teams, companies, designers, whatever, and you give them more money than they need, it often can have a negative effect. So you can, by that arguing, say it's not going to hurt anybody if you only tax the top 5%. I sound like Jeremy Corbyn all of a sudden. The point here is that when you do that, what you actually start doing is properly leveling the thing off. So in other words, what Steam should be doing is giving grants. They need to not just be about shipping units, they need to be about taking care of the creative ecosystem, which is the reason why they looked at this issue in the first place, and my guess is, as typically happens, they have gone away from that idea, because in the end it's easier to just reduce it down to $100 and have $100 and have all and sundry, everybody like the gold rush rushing there, making their games, working hard, and then finding that they ain't got the visibility. But if you have 10,000 people with very little visibility, you sell 1 million units without really much trouble and making a lot of money off their backs. That's how I feel. That feel when there is no non-profit game distribution platform that is universally used by all game publishers. If you buy digital, you are leeching the rights to the store owner. No, you're not. The store owner doesn't have any rights. They provide a service, and you have to have a reason to exist. So even with retail, what's the reason for retailers to exist? I think it would be great if the retail still existed and continues to exist. But you have to say what is their purpose? And again, if the only thing that keeps them going are the number of units of the games sold, you get rid of them and replace it with something that's much more convenient. But in the process of doing that, you've destroyed some of the culture of video games. People don't go into shops anymore and chat to the goalkeeper, chat to the storekeeper. And the richness of our culture is diminished. Yeah, it's the same issue. So that's why I said I can see where you're coming from, but it's the same issue. It's like convenience kills culture. You know? That's why, that's why we miss it. Yeah, it's true. Even the box products won't work once the stores close. Yeah, the games that we play, they will cease to function when Sony pulls the plug. There's something sad about that. I don't like that. Yeah, you Vancaster. Unreal and Unity do leech off the game developers. This is very true, and it works by a similar model. You know, what is good, though, is you say they leech off it. It's unfair, actually. They actually? Maybe not. Unity did a great thing in that they give away their game for their engine for free. It's a difficult one. They give their engine away for free. In effect, you can use Unity without spending any money because they don't use the money from that. So, from the beginners, if you will, or from indies that aren't making, in fact, they are. It's unfair to say it because they're not leeching. They are actually supporting the creativity in the industry, but it's in their interest too because they want people to use their technology. Where it's can get a little bit cynical is where in doing so, and but they have to have a business model that works, right? So it's just a business reality. They have to make money somehow, and so they make the money by enticing people to use their product, and then whoever's using their product gets trapped into using their product. It's vendor lock-in, and then it's difficult to escape. So that's the case with me, for example. I use Unity, and then it's difficult to escape from using Unity. It becomes expensive to escape from using Unity once you've decided to use Unity. So but I think at least there is an effort, and something I admire Unity for was when they made their model so that effectively they gave away their engine for free, so anybody can make a video game using their engine. That was democratizing game development. Outrun Online and Afterburner Climax are no longer available. If they had a version with the box, they would still be recoverable. Maybe, but often they need to use servers. I know, it's sad. We need to protect our culture, and there should be a law that requires that these cultural items are archivable and are not lost. And there could actually be something like that eventually. Microsoft are closing the indie program from 360, but is talking about archiving it. It's like, it's terrible. But what you can do is release the game on PC for indies. Then it's not terrible. Indie can release it on PC. The whole reason I never jumped onto those indie bandwagon thingies, not the indies, the bandwagon, but at Microsoft doing these things, was I didn't want to work on a game and then have them shelve it. And then I'm like, hey, good night, Postino.
Buonas notte, Postino.
Thanks for tuning in. Good night, ya Vancaster. Yeah, stay a while. It's a problem. It's like, in order for developers to be able to develop the game and not need to use patches and so on, then they need more money. Plus, there's no way I could have got the gameplay of KOR to where it is now without patching? Or would we really want a game like KOR to have been just released once and then that's it? It's a tricky one. So very much the way things are moving is that video games are a service, entertainment service, not making entertainment products as such. I don't know about that, Refly. About giving away the source code. That's a bit intrusive. I think the point is that there should be a law probably about allowing games to be archiveable in some way. It's tricky. And the idea of giving away the source code, release the source code, that's terrible. One of the big problems with that is you release the source code and then you have 17 billion people, well, not that many, but you have a bunch of people who start reinterpreting your own work. I mean, look at what's happened with, those utter bastards Kick-Off World, for example. It's like, and they don't have the source code, or do they? Oh, I don't know. I know Steve Screech have access to the source code. Source code that should never have been used for anything other than a very specific purpose. But I know for a fact that Anil Gupta was giving that source code to certain people. Who knows? But you just see what happened with what they've done with source code or not source code, trying to remake my work. It really pisses me off, frankly. It wouldn't have mattered, Stay a While. It didn't matter what I did. The reviews would never have been different. They were out to get me right from the very beginning. And who? People like Kick-Off World, Sensible Soccer fans, people who remember the Kick-Off 2 Sensible Soccer War. Whatever I did, I could have spent another 6 months working on the game and I'd have got just the same reaction. Disreputable person Hazink released the review that then got copied and pasted all over the blimmin' place. There was no way to prevent that problem other than to not have released review copies of the game before release. That was about the best that we could have done. Anyway, I'll get back to work here a minute. This goes to 0 to 1. I need to do t plus 1. And then, well, let's call this I instead. I Right, so that goes now from a range of 0 to 2. And so what I was saying then was I took that +1, I multiplied it by 1.5, and then I took the floor of it. And then if I push it all the way, so I guess I need to multiply it by a little bit less. So yeah, that in theory that works. And then I divide this by 3. That works. What does wrong? I suppose I can change this to 4.9. Hey Evo, how you doing? Welcome back. I think that that should work. I don't get it. Why that doesn't work. Hal, play Stay a While theme. No, it's working. It's just that the left and right aren't working. Yeah. They're pointing both down. Because I haven't put Y in there, nice copy paste error. Ah, it wasn't. I don't think. It's a victory one, isn't it? Oh God, it doesn't work. Oh jeez, come on. Okay, it's because Z, it's another problem. It should be Y, it should be Z, okay. Oh, it didn't show up in my chat, you're right. No, no. Oh my God. Oh, I hate this. This drives me nuts. It's like, what am I getting wrong here? It's the offset. Oh my god. Direction from the there, on the stick. Why doesn't it work? It's hard. Okay, I'm going to try hard wiring it. This is never, I've never liked this. It's always a pain. Coordinate transformation. They never work as you expect the first time, and then you end up here. I've been here so many times. So I'm going to do a test because I have to figure out why this one line doesn't work. If I do 0, 0, I hardwire 0, 0. What do we get? Hey Raduga, thanks for tuning in and your support. And have a good night. How play Raduga theme. Okay, so then it's this is 0, 0. Okay, right. Down. That is correct. Right. And then 0.666. That's the thumbs down. And that worked. So then we try and get the other ones. Then if I do, say, 0.333, what is this hand? It's I'm experimenting with a method of communication. So it's like you can press a button and you make the hand appear with a gesture, and you can use it for communicating instead of using text. So it's kind of a gesture, and that's so that you can communicate with your opponent to say something. What? It's like flashing headlights, except a little more sophisticated. Okey-doke. Okay, well this works, alright, so if that works, then why doesn't this expression not work? Okay, let's print what this was set to. Debug.log offset console, please. All right, 0 0. What is it? What? 7 0. 7 in the X. Okay, that's right. And Y is 0. Why is Y 0? That's the point. That doesn't make sense. I have an extra int. I didn't spot that. There's this extra int here. Oh my word, it basically was working, I think, but I had a... It's one of those things you can't see and you have an extra int. What's that? That's the problem. That makes sense, that would explain it. Damn it. Okay, right, that's all it takes. Yay! What is this hand? Oh, we'll dribble this way, and then we dribble down this way, and then, oh, and dribble this way. That's funny. Okay, or at least I got that working the way I want to, but this is still evolving because obviously this is not... I think. Is there an Emojoy movie? Save myself? Don't watch the trailer. Okay, I won't. Thank you. Right. Okay, when I press down, I can't take the risk after what you've said, so you will never find out. Gesture press time equals platform game time. Okay. Gesture release time. Gesture press time. Game time minus gesture release time is less than 2. What I need to do is fix it so that this is no longer modified if down. And platform game time minus gesture press time is less than 0.5. So over here I can say, woo, there, I got myself that, or let's have a thumbs up. There we go, that works. Or thumbs down, or right, I think I'm getting there. I'm going to go and change the way that this thing moves to be a little faster, and then also wider range. Here we go. What can you describe what teabagging is? I don't know. But yes, that's one possibility, I suppose. I'm just curious as to Oh, okay, I don't want to know. I'm too old, am I? Really? I can tell you a few things. All right. Try something else, which is that when I am accessing the stick, Oh, right, yes. Yes, I know. Okay. To tweak that a bit more. Yeah, exactly. It's always like, yes, I have actually, Evo. Okay, that's actually pretty good. I'm going to sleep on it and proceed it further tomorrow. And it's a simple idea, but it would allow people to, I don't know how they use the blooming emotes. We could have a smiley face, I suppose. I have to think about it. Anyway, I'm taking off, so thanks a lot for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow, and really appreciate you keeping me company. Oh, XP. Sorry, I didn't spot you till just then. So thanks for the birthday wishes. I'm off now. XP's in New Zealand, so hope to see you guys again tomorrow, some point. Take care, everybody. It was my birthday yesterday. Refly. Yeah. Big old 52. Have a good night, everybody. Hal, playing Man with a Mission.
I'm a man with a mission. I'm a man with a mission. I'm a man with a mission. I'm a man with a mission. I'm a man with a mission. I'm a man with a mission. I'm a man with a mission. I'm a man with a mission. I'm a man with a mission. man with a mission. I'm a man with a mission. I'm a man with a mission.